Sure. Yeah, I definitely think the guys are ready to play games. But answering your question, when you first start fall camp, you've been working out all summer. You've been doing some 7-on-7 stuff. And those guys are ready to get the pads on. You get a few days of helmets, and then you put the shoulder pads on. So you're kind of gearing up. And in those first few days, the defense is always ready to go, and they're getting after it. And the offense seems to be always kind of behind in those first few days. And then our transition, through this fall camp, I think our guys are very comfortable with what we're trying to do. We've got a chance to install a lot, so we put a lot on their plate, seeing who can retain stuff, and obviously there's a lot of carryover, and so our guys that have had experience and are used to what we're doing on offense, they are really excelling. And they're able to, see the defense better, and are, we're clicking a lot more with Jaden and the quarterbacks, and so I think the guys' progress has been really good through fall camp. And we've had some battles with the defense back and forth, and that's what you want. You want some days where there's some adversity, and you want some days where things are clicking and you're scoring touchdowns and having a good time, and because you can teach off of all of it. You don't want everything to be great, you don't want everything to be bad, but you find those life lessons or football lessons, within each practice or a play or whatever it is. But our guys are handling it well. The offense is, I think, where we need to be right now, and we're going to continue to improve through, game one and into the future.
Hey, Coach. Zak Keenan, Devil's Digest. I spell it with a CH, though. Trenton Bourguet, can you tell me about some of the things that have enabled him to go from that walk-on to a scholarship spot?
Sure. Yeah, Trenton's a true professional. He loves football. He dives into the film and watches other teams, and he's into the players and has good relationships with those guys, and he's that guy that's just always thinking sports. It's always thinking football, and so. Came in as a walk-on, was a little bit limited athletically. He's developed with his time here. His arm strength's gotten better. What shows up for him is just the consistency, the day-to-day consistency of him knowing what to do. You can trust him, and he sees the field really well. He doesn't panic under pressure, and he's getting the ball to the guys. He can distribute really well. Different skill set than Jaden, but within this offense, he functions well.
Coach Lena Washington, 12 News. I have two for you. Yesterday, Jaden kind of said, in a way, the coaching adjustments you guys have had to make in the last week has kind of freed you up a little bit and given you more freedom. He said it was almost kind of like a blessing in disguise, just kind of the silver lining. How has that kind of adjustment been for you as a coach? And then my second question is, how have you seen Bobby Wade kind of step into his role with the receivers?
Sure. Yeah, obviously we made adjustments with what's going on with the coaching staff, and allowed Bobby Wade to step in. It's still in a GA position, but he's using that being in that wide receiver room and being able to do some more things and running some meetings, and I'm in there a lot as well. And then it also with Trey Anderson is able to run the quarterbacks and the quarterback meetings, and he's able to do some things on the field. And he's been here a long time, and he's been through some different offenses, and he understands our offense really well, and he's got a good relationship with the quarterbacks. So it frees me up to be able to see, whether it's the tight ends or O-line or wide receivers, I can kind of see the big picture, rather than having to, focus all my attention, all practice on the QBs, and it allows some other guys to step up and take some, big roles. And it's just like we're asking of our kids through a season. A kid goes down and one of our starters is hurt, our backup jumps in, and here we go. So, you never know when you're going to get opportunities, and Bobby and Coach Wood and Trey have done a really good job stepping up and taking control of their rooms. But yeah, it does allow me to do a little bit more with day-to-day and the practices.
Zach, just given the fluency that players have with the offense now versus last year, how much more will that enable your ability to adjust on the fly to what you're seeing from defenses or even Jaden on the field with, audibling or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback has a lot of freedom in our offense to be able to, adjust the offense as needed, without going into too much detail. But, whether it's signal adjustments or just some things that, Jaden's getting more comfortable with what we're doing, the operation. He's not having to think about the operation. He can see what's the look, what's the defense, is this play good against this? Do we need to check out? So I think his comfortability and consistency is getting a lot better, and he's understanding what he can do and what he shouldn't do, and but he's having fun with it, and he's getting better daily.
Excuse me. Let me get out of the way.
Okay.
Brad, and then
Zach, I wanted to ask you about the tight ends and the competition there. What's that look like for you?
Yeah, I think that room is hungry, and they're excited to get out there and play some games. I mean, it's a physical crew, and Curtis has got some experience, and he's long and athletic and can make plays in the pass game, but he can also be physical in the run game. Adding Jalen Conyers to the mix and seeing what he can do and progress in this offense, and his development as a young tight end in college. Case Hatch has done a great job, and he's kind of that Swiss Army knife, can kind of put him wherever. He can be a fullback or a wing type guy, or we even used him a ton in the Oregon State game last year because we had a few injuries. So he's pretty versatile and physical kid, and obviously a good leader for us. And then with Stivers, from Harvard. He's provided that guy's really smart, he's savvy, he's played some football, he's an older guy, he's a physical guy, so he's good in the run game, and he understands the offense. So we can use him in different spots as well, and if a guy goes down, you can kind of fill in with him a little bit. And so anyway, it's a diverse group for sure, but we'll see at the end of the day, once we get to done with fall camp, we'll see who our playmakers are, what our best personnels are, how much we're going to use the tight ends, wide receivers, backs, and see what the mix is.
I'm just waiting. Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Coach, we've talked, we even as far back as the spring, talked about a receiver separating themselves and somebody stepping up, and it kind of seems like you're kind of still in the same boat, waiting for somebody to step up. Can you comment on that? And also, what is the status with Badger? Because he looked good in the spring, and we kind of haven't noticed him lately.
Mm-hmm.
And also, how is Brian Thompson adapting?
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole group, in general, there's some good talent in there. The consistency in a few guys has been there. Ricky's done a good job being consistent, and LV's been consistent. Even coming off that little injury, but. GP can be a guy that we use in multiple spots and has some good speed and provides a deep threat for us, and obviously Johnny's got the ability and the big body to make big plays. And I just think that whole group, from a total consistency standby hasn't really been there yet. We're looking to see what guys are really going to stand out and what guys are going to be consistent day in and day out, whether that's injuries or whether that's other things, and just trying to move guys and even with Ricky and LV, being able to move them outside a little bit, and just so the awareness in the offense is even better.
Is Badger hurt?
Yeah, we're just kind of he's out for right now, and we're just working that out.
Hi, Zach. Doug Haller, The Athletic. Just how has Jaden's accuracy been over the first 2 weeks, just as far as ball placement and all that?
Getting a lot better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's more and more comfortable in the pocket. He's feeling, I think his footwork is being more consistent, and just with his body weight and balance, and working some things under pressure. Coach, AP has been bringing a lot of pressures at times too. In certain practices, and so. It's been good, with a different mix of pressure, man, zone, all that type of stuff. And Jaden's getting a lot better and more comfortable with some of the receivers. And then going back to, with BT, with Brian Thompson, he's a guy, that is new. So we're trying to work out some of the timing stuff with him and Jaden because he can be a very good weapon for us. And but again, still working and always looking to get better and develop.
Have you seen his new car?
I have. I saw it, and I'm happy for him. Great. We got to use the NIL stuff. Here we go. Different world.
Well, I was going to ask, no one really, this is new, no one really knows where it's going to go, but as a coach, when you're working with someone like that, is there a concern because now all this stuff is popping up, and is there a concern about distraction at all with all that stuff?
Yeah, I think there's always a concern, and we just try to, as much as we can, talk to him about that. And he knows he's not going to do anything that's going to take away from practice or the team or anything like that. It's overall, it's been some simple things that he can do to, earn a little bit of money and create some partnerships and stuff. So it's been good so far for us and for Jaden, and hasn't been much of a distraction.
And just one last thing, is it safe to say with Trenton, is he kind of locked in that number 2 spot right now?
Right now, he is. He's doing a really good job. I trust him with what we're doing offensively. I know the guys do too. He's been a good leader, and between Jaden and Trenton, we feel really good. And then Dalen and Finn are still working and battling and doing as much as they can to learn the offense and show that consistency and trust. And that's from the younger guys. That's what we need. A good stable third. And, we want them to push, try to be the backup, and we always want that competition in that room. But right now, that's what it's looking like.